Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video we're diving into the bonus map of Treasure Map Flampe. So with that said, let's dive in for this doozy of a treasure map. Now, obviously, I was out last night. Thank you for being so patient with me. If you are watching this video, I love you guys lots. Make sure to button the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. As you can see, I am on nav level 12 because your boy is kind of a spoon. But look, we move. So, we do have the bonus map, and in today's video, we're going to be going through my speed teams of how I'm going to be taking down this particular treasure map. Now, the way I like to play treasure map, I like to use boosted units, but I also like to use wave clearers. Speed is the name of the game, but it is not like the be-all or end-all. Ideally, you just want to try and get to the 10 mil points, and this is a perfect treasure map to actually do that. So, I'm not sure how far I'm going to go in this particular map. I might play if I can, but I have been super busy, obviously, with social events and personal stuff and whatnot as well. So, we managed to get the bento. I always like to take the bento path for every single map, as well as trying to get as many rainbow chests as possible to maximize my limit break materials. That's pretty much the way I like to play treasure map. It works the best for me without having to sort of bang my head against the wall and play it super consistently. So, as the invasion of Flampe, the team, it hasn't changed since the prep video. It looks exactly like this. So that's the team, those sports. Let's dive in. We're using a friend captain, Nami and Carrot, with Luffy and Ace as our friend captain. If you have Koala and Robin, just use Koala Robin over Luffy and Ace, and that's actually going to work better. There's a Chiffon support you can put on Pudding, so you don't have to worry about the Rayleigh per se. On turn 1, I am going to switch with my Nami and Carrot unit. That's going to give me an 8k healing at the end of the turn, because we had their super switch. And ideally here, I'm going to try and gobble up like as many of these meat orbs as possible, so that way we can get a nice chunky HP threshold. So when we move into this stage against Flampe, we don't have to worry about the super block orbs and the damage. No, because we do get pain here for 5% of our HP. We do get recovery bind, which I don't have a way around with this team. So that's super annoying. We get block orbs, we get paralysis, and there's defense up. So because we have our own Nami and Carrot, we're going to switch with Nami and Carrot here. They're going to remove the defense up. And then we can use our friend captain, Nami and Carrot here, to give us a chain boundary and remove those block orbs. Once we've done that, we can use the Pudding special. Pudding's actually going to extend that chain boundary into the next stage, which is super, super nice as well. And then with this, we can pretty much just easily take out Flampe. No issues whatsoever. See you later. Beautiful. The thing you need to worry about there is being above 99% of your HP, because you really don't want to take the block orbs and deal with that damage null. It's very annoying, and that's actually where I stuffed up when I was out last night trying to like speed run to the invasion. And unfortunately, I got tired, and I just shouldn't have done it, to be honest. But on the final stage against Flampe, she has 6 turns of damage reduction and 4 turns of threshold. She gives you 6 turns of special bind and 6 turns of bind on your left-hand column. So this is where our own Nami and Carrot is going to be absolutely essential. She can remove all of the binding shenanigans there, which is awesome. And then we can actually use the special of Luffy and Ace to give us a orb buff. It's a big orb buff and a conditional boost as well, which is super nice. And then we can use our Smoothie special to remove 4 turns of damage reduction and 4 turns of threshold, plus give us an attack boost as well, because we have healed over a certain margin. Finally, we're going to bink our Akainu special. Akainu would be a conditional boost, but Luffy and Ace do that anyway. If you're using Koala and Robin, obviously that conditional is going to be really, really nice. But the idea of utilizing Akainu here is to use this support of Sengoku to remove the rest of that damage reduction. So there we go. That's the invasion against Flampe. It's a doozy of a fight, and I do think a lot of people are going to struggle with it, but hopefully you can get enough points, like I said, to just get to the 10 million, and then you pretty much just don't have to worry about the invasion anymore. You can pretty much just skip it, unless you want ranking, and just sort of farm out the map for some more drops anyway. So that was my team, nice and fast. Let's quickly bink our way to the end here. And we made it to the Battle Rush. Now, the teams did change a little bit from what you guys saw in my prep video. So the first fight is against Pudding. I don't have any mid-map shenanigans going on now for this fight. And I did change this team, actually, just a little bit. I brought Kamazo in as my wave clearer, and I'm actually using Blackbeard as a wave clearer as well. So you don't have to use Kamazo. You could easily just run Daifuku, which is what I initially was doing, to sort of just double bink a wave clear here. However, I thought, you know what, like, I can use the base stat boost on the final stage thanks to... Oh my gosh, Adobe, what are you doing? Adobe, why? Why are you doing this? Okay, apologies about that. I could just bink the Blackbeard special to get the carryover of the orb buff and the base stat. However, Kamazo giving me an orb buff kind of screwed that over just a little bit. But Nevertheless, getting that base stats is quite nice because on the final stage, we're just basically going to use the Croc Dofi special to remove the damage reduction and give us an attack buff. That buff there doesn't matter all that much. We really just want that Mr. 1 support, so that way we can get around the damage reduction. Give us a nice chunky attack boost too, and that Despair gets converted into a chain multiplicative buff thanks to Blackbeard, so we don't even have to worry about that 9-turn ridiculousness. To get around the burn, like, we just don't even worry. And then with the limit break ability of Dofi Croc, we could actually get around the limit specials, but we only use 1 special anyway. On to the next fight, we come up against Brûlé, and this particular team, it hasn't actually changed at all. It stayed exactly the same. I did find out I need to max my Marco and Vista. That was something that I hadn't done. So when I initially ran this, I was like, oh my god, I don't have the cooldowns, but turns out, yes, I do have the cooldowns. For more damage later, I'm going to bring in Zoro over Rakuyu, Nummel, and Blenheim. But for now, we are just double binking Brook to get the wave clearing shenaniganry that he can provide. We have a support Luffy on Sanji. That's very important for the final stage. And to get around the special bind and the special reverse, we're just using Marco and Vista because our captain is a powerhouse or slasher unit. There's also 1 turn of damage null and chain coefficient reduction. If you're below a certain chain boundary as well, you will have to deal with some very, very annoying stuff. So utilizing Sanji here with a Luffy on the team or a Luffy support is going to be the move. You can run just the side Luffy if you want to. He works exceptionally well here. And wham bam, thank you, man. Thanks to Whitebeard, we have so much HP that we can actually survive the 80k death hit or whatever, the 100k death hit or whatever it is after you do kill Brûlé, because Whitebeard just gives me so much goddamn HP. We can use the Whitebeard special as well if we really want to. So that way we can get tandem slots. And then we don't have to worry about the HP cut anyway, thanks to it being at the start of the next turn, so that works out quite nicely. Moving on to the Galette fight, this is the one that changed quite a bit. Now, I did find that Sabo actually stopped working. I actually thought the attack would scale faster than what the HP does, but unfortunately, it doesn't, so that was a bit of a bummer. So, what we've done here is I've just added Cat Wander as a point booster. I've added the Odin support onto Cat Viper to give him cooldowns. And then I've added Doflamingo, V2 Dofi on the team. Dofi actually gets cooldowns here, and thanks to utilizing the super types of Cat Viper, we can actually get the cooldowns of Doflamingo ready for the final stage. Once stuff gets a little bit harder, we can bink our friend Captain Cat Viper on turn 2, so that way we get the carryover of an attack buff on the final stage, as well as utilizing the Cat Viper special to give us an orb buff. We're removing the attack down thanks to Shanks and Buggy, as well as getting a color affinity boost with them, but you can use something like the Rare Recruit Usopp instead. That's definitely going to work. But for now, we're just going to get around the cooldowns thanks to Cap Viper. We're going to use Shanks and Buggy to remove the attack down, and because we get a Wano orb on Cap Viper, we just basically need to tap with any unit that doesn't have a matching orb, and then with Cap Viper, and you do so much damage. The overkill is plenty to get around that 30% revive. There's also 1 turn of defense up and 3 turns of paralysis on the revive, but Dofi honestly doesn't give a rat's ass about that. He just binks it and kills it anyway. So we're not even worried about the binds, just the bind doesn't do anything for us. Dogstorm's literally a point booster that can just activate the super type, and that's the big reason he's there. You can use like Hiyori if you want to, but like the idea is if you have another matching orb on the final stage, you're going to do too much damage, but later down the line, I might bring her in over Carrot and Wanda, so that way I can actually just get more damage with the scaling. Onto the final mini-boss fight now. This one's just built for Luffy and Ace. If you aren't using Luffy and Ace on the final team, then using Luffy and Ace here is just going to save you so much headache, but using Luffy and Yamato is another really good option for this particular fight, because Luffy, Yamato, Luffy, and Ace, whichever one you're using, basically just takes care of the final stage so easily. The upside to using Luffy and Ace, though, is they have type advantage, being a quick unit, and then you can use the Shanks support to give yourself a color affinity boost. Literally, just with 2 captains of Luffy and Ace, and the Shanks support, you have all the damage you need for just disgustingly high nav levels. This team isn't the fastest team that you could possibly do. I do believe you could probably do some stuff with like 6++ Uta, but like I said at the start of the video, speed is the name of the game, but I'm not just going to break myself to just try and do insane speed teams, when really I'm not going to play that much treasure map. To get around the bind on the final stage, we have the Luffy and Ace special, use their swap abilities to get around the Despair and the slot binds, and as you can see, literally using our own Luffy and Ace special, we just get everything we need. We get conditional boost, we get an orb buff. If we use the other one, we get an attack buff. We have chain boundary. You can't use a chain lock or a chain boundary here, so utilizing something like Izo Kiku on turn 2 to get 3 turns of chain lock, or using the swap of Luffy and Yamato, Luffy Ace is going to be the wave there. So that's a smoothie fight. Pretty straightforward if you're using Luffy and Ace. But I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff floating around too. On to the final fights now. Oh, we got some treasure rewards. Yay. On to the final fight against Big Mom. We're basically just utilizing the batch team. However, I don't have any of the new waifus besides Nami and Carrot. So this is the team we're going with. We're bringing Akainu and Reiju. Akainu being a 1.4 times booster, Reiju being a 1.35 times booster. It just makes the most sense to try and get as many points as possible on this Big Mom fight. On turn 1, Sanji just gives us cooldowns and then he runs away, which is super nice. And then on turn 2, I'm just going to utilize one of my Nami and Carrot specials. I'm going to utilize my one, and then that'll remove the burn. And then we can use the Smoothie special to get around the damage reduction and the threshold. Now, on this final stage, Big Mom puts up defense up, and it's a little bit interesting how easy it is to get through the defense up with the Reiju special. Now, for me, because I'm utilizing 2 Nami and Carrots, I'm actually going to use the Reiju special here to get the carry over of that defense down. I have kept both my super swaps though, so no matter what, I will be fine to actually get rid of it. But if you guys are using your own Nami Carrots, you can just use Reiju special on the final stage, reduce the defense by 80% and then 100% on the revive. So that will definitely work. Otherwise, Carrot Wander, another really good option here. But on the final stage, we do get Bind and block orbs. So this is where you kind of want to have your friend captain, Nami, and Carrot ready to go if you aren't using your own. And there's 7 turns of defense up. So utilizing Carrot Nami here is just going to remove all those nasty shenaniganry. And then we're also going to use our Pudding special, so that way we can get around the recovery orb barrier. If you're using something like Luffy and Ace here, you can use the Whitey Bay support. Any support that can remove barriers is going to work exceptionally well here. But as you can see with the new character batches being Pudding and Smoothie, we can actually get recovery orbs that way. Once we do kill Big Mom, she does revive, she comes back, she does some damage, she gives you hunger, she comes back with like 10 million HP, and as you can see, she's still got that 3 turns of defense up. For me, I can super swap, and that's actually going to remove it. Plus, we then have the conditional boost of Akainu, but at the moment, we really don't need it. Slash, I don't think we will, because it's like a 10 million revive regardless. But it's going to wrap up the video. That was my treasure map playthrough for the new treasure map Flampe on the bonus map. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.